Look at this place. Really look at it. This is the Dead Sea Valley. It sits over 400 meters below sea level, the lowest point on Earth's land surface. The air is so thick you can feel it in your lungs. Temperatures regularly exceed 40 degrees Celsius. In summer, the ground gets hot enough to burn your skin through your shoes. Rain falls here maybe once a year, sometimes not even that. And when it does fall, the water doesn't soak in. It sits on the surface for a few hours, then evaporates under the brutal sun. What's left behind is a white crust of salt so concentrated that scientists call it a biological desert. Nothing lives here, not even bacteria in some patches. If you poured water on this soil, it would bead up like water on a waxed car. That's how hydrophobic it has become. Thousands of years of evaporation have turned this land into something closer to the surface of another planet than to a place where food could ever grow. Farmers have avoided this valley for millennia. Ancient trade routes went around it. The Bible mentions it as a place of desolation. In modern times, the United Nations classified parts of this region as some of the most degraded agricultural land on Earth. And yet, Israel chose this place to grow a forest. Not a small garden, not an experimental plot. A functioning, self-sustaining food forest with fruit trees, vegetables, and living soil. What happened next shocked agricultural experts around the world, and it started with a question that sounded crazy. To understand why this place is so impossible, you need to understand what salt actually does to soil. In normal, healthy soil, water moves downward. Rain falls, the soil absorbs it, and excess water carries minerals, including salt, deep underground, far below where plant roots can reach. That's how nature has worked for millions of years. But here, there is no downward flow. There is only upward. Every time a tiny amount of moisture reaches the surface, whether from rare rain or morning dew, the sun pulls it back up. The water evaporates into the atmosphere, and the salt stays behind. Now imagine that process repeating itself, not for 10 years, not for 100, for thousands of years. Layer after layer after layer of salt building up like a white tombstone over the land. Today, in some parts of the Dead Sea Valley, the soil salinity is so extreme that the soil has lost its structure entirely. Normal soil is full of pores and channels that allow air and water to move. But here, salt crystals have filled every gap. The soil has become dense, hard, almost like concrete. Scientists measure soil salinity in decisiemens per meter. Normal agricultural soil is below 2. The Dead Sea Valley regularly exceeds 40, 20 times the threshold for plant death. Nothing can grow here. That was the consensus. That was the science. And for decades, no serious agricultural project even tried to change it. Because everyone knew you cannot fight the Dead Sea Valley. The Dead Sea Valley always wins. Except, one man didn't get that memo.
His name is Geoff Lawton. He's a permaculture expert and educator, but most videos about him leave out a critical detail. Lawton didn't come to this work by accident. He trained extensively with Israeli agricultural pioneers. And here's why that matters. Israel is a country born in a desert. When modern Israel was established, most of its land was either desert or degraded semi-desert. The founding farmers had a choice: give up or figure out how to grow food where no one else could. They chose the second option. Over decades, Israel developed some of the most advanced desert agriculture techniques on the planet. Drip irrigation, invented in Israel. Desalination at scale, perfected in Israel. Soil restoration methods, many of them pioneered on Israeli land. So when Geoff Lawton wanted to prove that even the most dead soil could be brought back to life, he didn't go to a forgiving environment. He went to Israel. Specifically, he went to the Dead Sea Valley. He said something that sounded arrogant at the time. He said, if we can fix this land, we can fix any land on Earth. But even he wasn't prepared for what happened next. Because the Dead Sea Valley doesn't just kill plants, it humiliates them. Lawton's first attempt was by the book. He planted species that were supposed to be salt-tolerant, trees that could handle coastal conditions, hardy shrubs from similar desert environments. He irrigated carefully. He monitored the soil. And within 2 months, everything was dead. Not just dying, dead, brown, crumbling. The salt had pulled moisture out of the roots themselves. It's called osmotic stress. Essentially, the salt in the soil was so concentrated that water actually flowed out of the plants and into the ground. The plants dehydrated to death while standing in soil that had just been watered. Local farmers who saw this shook their heads. Some laughed. One reportedly said, "You can't fight this valley. It's been winning for 10,000 years." A normal researcher would have packed up, written a paper about how the Dead Sea Valley is truly impossible, gone home. But Lawton did something very Israeli. He didn't accept defeat. He asked a different question. Not how do we remove the salt, because that's impossible at this scale. You cannot dig out or wash away thousands of years of salt buildup. Instead, he asked, what if the problem isn't the salt, but the water? Think about that for a moment. Salt only kills when it's in the root zone. If you could move the salt down, deep down, below where roots ever reach, then plants could grow above it. But how do you move salt downward without rain, without flooding, without massive earth moving? The answer came from an ancient technology, one that Israel had rediscovered and adapted for its own deserts. And it's almost embarrassingly simple.
It's called a swale, and at first glance, it's just a ditch, but not a straight ditch, not a drainage ditch. A swale is dug exactly along the contour of the land. It follows the natural shape of the hill, perfectly level from end to end. Here's why that matters. When rain finally comes, even just once a year, that swale catches every drop. The water doesn't run downhill. It doesn't evaporate on the surface. It pools in the swale, and then it sinks straight down into the soil. And as that water sinks, it carries salt with it, down, deeper, below the root zone. You don't remove the salt, you bury it, deep enough that it can never hurt a plant again. This is the genius of the Israeli approach. Don't fight nature with brute force. Redirect it with precision. But here's the hard part. The swale has to be absolutely perfectly level. If it's off by even a few centimeters, the width of 2 fingers, water will flow to one side, the swale will fail, and the salt will stay exactly where it is. So, Lawton and his team surveyed the land with painstaking accuracy. They dug thousands of meters of swales, by hand in some sections, with machines in others. And then, they waited. For months, nothing happened. The land looked exactly the same, white, cracked, dead. The local farmers who had laughed before laughed again. They said Lawton had wasted time and money on a ditch. But he knew something they didn't. Under the surface, invisible to the eye, the water was moving, the salt was sinking, and the soil was waking up. One year after the swales were dug, a worker was walking the land. He stopped. He saw something he had never seen in this valley before. A weed, just one, green and alive. Within months, there were hundreds, then thousands, then grass, then small bushes. The soil that had been dead for possibly thousands of years had woken up. But here's the shocking part that almost no one talks about. Swales alone didn't do this, because dead soil doesn't just need water. It needs life, microbes, fungi, bacteria, a whole underground world that had been extinct in this valley for centuries. What Lawton did next was even stranger than digging ditches. He didn't add fertilizer, he didn't add chemicals, he didn't bring in expensive soil from somewhere else. He added something he would never expect. Something so simple that most people laugh when they first hear it. And that is where the real miracle began. The salt was buried, but the soil was still dead. What happened next turned a weed patch into a food forest.